And now it's my distinct honor to introduce our 2022 National Indian Health Board Award Master of Ceremony, me. Not really. It's Olympus gold medalist, Oglala, Lakota, Billy Mills, and a Marine brother. A nation motion picture has been made about Billy's title, Running Bear, and it has been a positive influence on many American youth. Before we hear from Billy, let's recapture that moment in the sports that inspired Native people for nearly 60 years and will continue to inspire us for generations to come. We'll play a short video of Billy's Olympic 1964 10,000-meter race. Look for Billy. The number on his jersey is 722.
Yoshinori Sakai is now passing by the bands and through those traditional Japanese drums. Flags of all the nations. Now we're coming to one of the most impressive moments of the Olympics, as Sakai will turn and salute the crowd before igniting the cauldron which will burn throughout the Olympic Games until the closing ceremonies, and it will be extinguished. And there it goes.
The stretch produced an amazing finish by Billy Mills.
And here we go in the final lap for the gold medal in the 10,000 meter. And up front is Bill Mills. He's pressing Ron Clark, the world champion. Bill Mills in the United States, number 722, is leading Ron Clark. And in third place right now is Mahout Gammoudi of Tunis. A tremendous upset if Bill Mills can hang on. But Gammoudi goes out ahead as Gammoudi right now leading in the 10,000 meter. Ron Clark is third. Rather, Bill Mills is in third. Ron Clark is in second right now. This is the final lap for the 10,000 meter. The unheralded Mahout Gammoudi of Tunis is putting on a tremendous sprint. He's out ahead of Ron Clark. Bill Mills, the United States, is in third place. This will certainly be the fastest 10,000 meter ever run by an American.
Here's Mills, who seems to be boxed in. Suddenly there's an opening, and here he comes.
Here they come down the final lap. Can Ron Clark catch Gammoudi? They're going through the field. He's coming up. He's passing Gammoudi. Look at Mills! Look at Mills! Look at Mills! Coming on! Mills is coming on! It might be Bill Mills. What a tremendous surprise here! Bill Mills of the United States wins the 10,000 meter. Bill Mills of the United States, a tremendous upset, wins the 10,000 meter here. His unheralded winner from Kansas.
Let's go back and look with our other camera to see exactly how he broke through the pack.
Here they come down the final lap. Can Ron Clark catch Gammoudi? They're going through the field. He's coming up. He's passing Gammoudi. Look at Mills! Look at Mills! Look at Mills! Coming on! Mills is coming on! It might be Bill Mills. What a tremendous surprise here! Bill Mills of the United States wins the 10,000 meter.
Billy Mills, the only American ever to win a gold medal in the Olympic 10,000 meter run.
Wow. I'm very proud to introduce Billy Mills. He is one of my brothers. He wears a Marine badge. Always a Marine.
Always a Marine.
And thank you for running, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. That moment was very, very magical for me. But tonight, we celebrate a much more sacred, magical night. The anniversary of the National Indian Health Board, the 50th anniversary. The voice of Indian tribes, American Indian and Alaska Native tribes. Their voice so powerful, speaking for all. I'm humbled. I'm truly, truly humbled to be with you tonight. Never in the history of our tribal nations has the need for tribal governments, state governments, federal government, along with the marketplace, to come together and collectively choreograph the health care of all of our citizens been greater. But in so many ways, our country is broken. Our country needs our Indian youth. Our country needs so much of the philosophy, our traditions, our spirituality, and the virtues and the values that empower them. They empower the National Indian Health Board. So I'm going to share with you a dream I have and inspiration I've received, not only locally here at home. My wife Pat and I have been blessed to travel the world, 110 different countries. Many of the countries we travel to know about the National Indian Health Board. Many of the countries I travel to are studying our treaty rights. Many of the countries I'm traveling to with Pat look toward our American Indian women and our young women for hope, for direction, for clarity of mind, to make positive decisions and stay the course. I was shocked as we traveled and we would sit down with young people from throughout the world. Several times they started telling me about the Lakota treaty rights and how they've been broken. Yet our own country is trying to let the winds of change and the passage of time wash those footprints away. Other countries have said, we look toward the Native American women, then the African American women, women of color, then all women in the United States of America for confidence, for direction, for hope. The National Indian Health Board has played a major part in helping the various health issues that we've all faced. And women hold up half the sky. And what a powerful world we'd have if we, in America, state governments, tribal governments, our elected officials, could see the need to empower its own indigenous people. I want to share with you what these other countries are talking about, and I'll do it in this manner. When I came back from the Olympic Games, half Lakota, about a 16th Northern Cheyenne, and then European ancestry. The founders and leaders of the various cities my wife and I would move to would simply say, Billy, we want to make an exception. We want to allow you to join our most prestigious business clubs. It'll enhance your income. Besides, Billy, we understand you half qualify. You're almost half white. I always refused, but I'd always try to learn. This led me on my own journey, and many times I thought I was alone, till I walked off the stage in Tunisia, and a lady came up to me. She said, I teach in high school, and I teach in college about the Lakota people. That's going to be the message tonight. She teaches not about the Lakota, but all tribes in the United States of America. She teaches the doctrine of discovery. Many of you know it, but for those that may not, courtesy of the Vatican, encouraged by the kings and queens of Europe. 1493, the Vatican had the Pope write the doctrine of discovery, condensing it in about 10 minutes. Any new lands found, in reference to the Americas, Arctica to the Antarctica, any new lands found can only belong to the first Christian monarch that discovers those lands, and the inhabitants, the indigenous people. Estimates based on archaeological digs, 50 to 90 million indigenous people. They're teaching the archaeological digs that at the end of the wars, 6 million survived. Other countries are talking about the most devastating genocide on the planet occurred in the Americas, the doctrine of discovery. 2 months ago, the Pope Francis, said, you can quote me, the doctrine of discovery was genocide. It created legal theft of our lands. Other countries go on as they learn about the westward movement in the United States of America, and they learn about slavery. No words can describe the inhumane treatment of the innocent. They're teaching when the slaves were freed, how our leadership in Washington, D.C. went to the poor white, maybe some of my relatives. I've never met a white relative, but I'm half white. And simply said, don't let them take your jobs. They developed great skills as slaves. These other countries are saying that put fear into the poor white. The fear grew into hate. They're teaching about treaties signed, treaties broken, about manifest destiny. This land is a gift to the European immigrants from God. Jim Crow's born. 1 year before I competed in the Olympic Games, the Civil Rights Act was passed. Within a month of winning my gold medal, it was signed into law. We all know how the Civil Rights Act, the attempt to overturn it, and how the war on drugs came into existence, and how leaders within our own government planned it. Drugs in the inner cities, and how those drugs went across the states to our reservation lands. Right before the pandemic, as Pat and I visited several reservations, we're told by the leadership how our young women, our young innocent women, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, were having to find a different place to sleep every night for fear of being violated by men on drugs. The footprints of the doctrine of discovery, manifest destiny, treaty signed, treaties broken, slavery, Jim Crow, and the war on drugs are etched into every fiber of our social way of life, our educational system, our entrepreneurial system, into our political system, forever dictating, influencing the rule of law. That's why I've said before, we need a Native American on the United States Supreme Court. Said it for over 40 years. But have we ever nominated somebody? I don't know. But those footprints are etched into every fiber of our social, educational, political, entrepreneurial way of life, dictating our rule of law, creating two issues that Indian Health Service, the National Indian Health Board, tribal health programs, a federal health program tries to address. And Indian Health Service, the Indian Health Board, tribal health clinics, I say are doing an incredible job when you look at what we're up against. What I just described, other countries are saying, create it. Generational trauma. Generational trauma created economic poverty and all the issues that come with economic poverty. But also, they created the most devastating poverty of all. And that's a poverty of dreams. Just addressing the health of one of our young people enhances their opportunity multifold to have a dream, to follow the dream until they find a passion in life. It empowers them to develop their passion, develop the skills to equal the passion, bringing them together. Because what happens? My dad told me, son, magic happens. And one or two of those magical things you do in your lifetime just may be looked upon as a miracle. The National Indian Health Board, your leadership, you're creating magic. And our young people are creating magic. And some of the magic they are creating will look upon as a miracle. The United States of America needs the miracles of our young people. But it also not only created generational trauma, it created generational privilege. Being half white, half Lakota, I've been offered the generational privilege. I've always turned it down and offered another indigenous person, full blood. They always rejected the choice I offered. It's easy for our roads to become misleading, to lose direction, to lose hope. But you're teaching by developing a more healthy body, our young people, our elders, do not give hope, do not give up hope on the visions of the elders or the dreams of the youth. So what I want to do is start to close by simply saying, patriots of generational privilege, patriots of generational trauma need to come together and collectively choreograph the horizon of America's future if we want this incredible democratic experiment to mature to the sacredness our flag represents, but our laws do not. we're so close to becoming an autocracy. And if we become an autocracy, there goes our treaty rights. There goes the sacredness of our way of life. We become a major enemy that has to be eliminated. I believe in the youth of America. I believe in our own youth. I believe in the National Indian Health Board. So I close by dedicating a 90-second video about dreams to you, to those involved in making the National Indian Health Board the great success it is, and I dedicate it also to the youth of all the tribal nations in America. 90-second video. Judy Collins sings Amazing Grace. It features 4 Olympians and the challenges they had to overcome to achieve their dream. I call it my warrior video. I'm humbled, I'm honored to be with you, and I dedicate, if we're ready, this 90-second warrior video to you. Let's have the video.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now was blind, but now I see.
In closing, the National Indian Health Board is empowering the visions of our elders and in your own quiet way, inspiring the dreams of our youth. Thank you.